Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And yes, I was arrested. Well, kind of. It's really complicated. Let me explain. On Saturday, January, myself and a few other people were hanging out at the clubhouse. We were doing some work down there. Just a little bit of remodel work, and we had a little get-together after that. And then I went home. My wife and I had dinner together. Then my son came over for a little bit. He stayed until about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then he left. I let him take the golf cart, because I didn't want him walking around in the dark. And then, my wife and I sat outside for a while. And then we went inside. We watched Television, played a few games. Everything was fine. All of a sudden, my doorbell camera flashes. I look, and it says that there's someone at the front door. So I go to the front door, and I see two people. One of them has a badge on his chest, and the other guy has a badge on his arm, and they're both in plain clothes. Now, when I open the door, the guy who has the badge on his chest steps forward and says, "Chief, I need you to come with me." And I said, "What did I do?" And he said, "You were served with a warrant earlier today. I need you to come with me right now." So I said, "I haven't done anything." He said, "You will have an opportunity to speak with your lawyer later. I need you to come with me right now." Well, this immediately set off all kinds of alarms for me. First of all, why would police officers be wearing masks? They don't show their faces. Second of all, I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. Third of all, why would they tell me that I was being arrested without telling me what I was being arrested for? That is not how law enforcement works. So immediately, even though I didn't have my glasses on, I could tell something was wrong. These guys were not real cops. And so primera sa, are you serious? The guy takes a step forward. He puts his hand on my shoulder, and he starts trying to twist me around to try to put handcuffs on me. At that point, I elbow him in the side of the head, and that got him off of me. And then I shut and locked the door. Now, both of these guys are pounding on the door. They're yelling, screaming, "Let me in, let me in. You've been served with a warrant. You need to come with me." I'm looking out the peephole and I can see that they're still wearing masks. So I'm on the phone with 911. I get connected with the city police department. I tell them that I have two men at my door who are claiming to be police officers. They're not in uniform. They won't identify themselves. They're refusing to leave. And I think that they may be trying to commit some kind of fraud or impersonating a police officer. While I'm on the phone with the 911 operator, one of the guys pushes past the door. It's glass. He pushes past the door and he reaches in and tries to unlock the door. Well, that failed. So then he started pounding on the door. The actual police officers from the city police department showed up. Now, when the real cops showed up, the fake cops ran away. So, this is pretty strange. I mean, why would the HOA send fake cops to arrest me? The situation is that the HOA has been harassing my neighbor, and I've been helping her fight back against them. Now, it turns out that the two people who showed up to my house were not sworn police officers, but they were security guards who worked for a private company that the HOA hired, but their uniforms were made to look like police uniforms. The guy who was trying to handcuff me even had a badge on his chest that looked like a police badge, and they had badges on their arms too, and they both had guns on their hips. I could see through the glass door. I could see the gun on his hip. Well, I get contacted by the HOA president and the HOA attorney, and they basically start threatening me. They say that I assaulted a police officer and that I am going to be prosecuted for that. And the interesting thing is, they actually told me that the security guards were not their employees. They were independent contractors. So if they are independent contractors, and they were hired by the HOA, does that make them agents of the HOA? Or are they acting on behalf of the HOA? And if so, aren't they essentially employees of the HOA? I mean, the HOA hired them to do a job, and they were wearing HOA-branded clothing. Well, the next day comes around, and I get contacted by the city prosecutor, and he tells me that the case is being dropped because, one, the security guard who tried to arrest me refused to make a statement, so we don't even have a statement from the alleged victim. And thus, the prosecutor knows me. I have an excellent reputation in the community. I've been a police officer here for almost 20 years, and he said that he believed me when I told him that I thought these guys were committing fraud. However, the HOA wants to press charges against me. This is probably gonna go to court. This is probably gonna end up in civil court, where the judge is gonna decide whether or not these guys were, in fact, agents of the HOA. If they were, then this is gonna be a very interesting case. I'm not sure what the outcome of that will be. I mean, I'm guessing that they're not gonna find in favor of the HOA. But honestly, who knows? Florida's a very pro-HOA state. We'll see what happens. But this whole thing is insane. You know, I talk to a lot of people who live in HOAs, and they already having problems with their HOA. They've tried to do things to their houses that the HOA doesn't like, and that HOA has sent them letters saying that if they don't do certain things, they're going to get fines. They're going to be arrested. They're going to go to jail. And I always said that those were empty threats. An HOA cannot legally arrest you. They can't legally put you in jail. They might be able to put liens on your house, but they can't arrest you. Well, now I'm starting to think that maybe those HOAs that are sending out those threats, maybe they're not making those threats. Maybe they're actually willing to follow through on it. I mean, when I answered the door, these guys walked up to my door like they owned the place. You know, I've seen hundreds of arrests. I've never seen anything quite like this. The fact that they were wearing masks was immediately a red flag for me. The fact that they wouldn't identify themselves, red flag. The fact that they wouldn't tell me what I was being arrested for, red flag. The fact that they were wearing body armor, red flag. The fact that they were carrying guns, red flag. All of these are red flags. If you live in an HOA, be careful. They may not be as friendly as you think. This HOA has been completely unreasonable. They have refused to communicate with me. They only want to communicate in writing, and they use that against me. They say that I am not responding to their written communications, but I've responded to every single one of their written communications. And in every one of my written communications, I ask them to talk to me, call me, text me, email me, talk to me. Don't talk to me in writing. And they refuse to do it. This HOA is taking things to an extreme. I mean, now they're sending hitmen after me. What's next? They're going to send a drone with a little explosive device attached to it to blow up my house. I mean, what's next? They're going to send assassins after me. You know, I'm a former CIA officer. I'm a police officer. I've been a police officer for 26 years. I've worked undercover for most of my career, so I'm pretty good at this kind of stuff. But these guys almost got me. They almost fooled me. If I hadn't had my doorbell camera, I wouldn't have known that they were there. And if I hadn't gone to the door, I might still be sitting here wondering what the heck happened. Why did these guys show up? I mean, I know I'm in trouble with the HOA, but I didn't think that they would go this far. Well, guys, that's all I've got for you right now. You know, I'm kind of tired. It's been a long couple of days. But I wanted to share this story with you because this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I've never heard of anything like this happening before. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please remember to support the channel. And as always, stay safe.